Good evening, everyone, and once again, welcome to your weekly, very important, educating Glasscast edition. In the past few weeks, we've been talking about family and health related issues, and I believe most of you that have followed what we have been doing in the past find it intriguing, find it educative, and find it quite interesting. So, we are continuing on that series, but we are coming on a different episode. If you want to enjoy this episode, you need to go back and watch the episodes we've done on DNA and paternity fraud, and the episode we've done on post-rate affecting men's reproductive health. And today, we are going to discuss a very important topic. So, for you to always get updates on what we are doing, make sure you like and share our page, spread it across, invite others to learn from our factual and evidential based discussions. Now, let's go to the topic of today, baby factory. It's a subject that is becoming very common in the local parlance, but we want to look at it in a critical way. Is it actually baby factory, or should we address it more formally and in more respectful manner? So today, we are going to have a very interesting discussion. Sit right back and enjoy yourself this evening. So to discuss this topic with me today is our own dear sister by my immediate left, Reverend Sister Chizzy. Is an uncommon guest or unusual guest like we used to have. So it's interesting that we're having Sister in our midst. Sister is well versed in social issues. So she's an educator, she's a spiritual counselor, and she's also a nurse. In fact, she belongs to the Institute of the Vocationists of the Universal Sanctification, which is a very global institute for education, health, and religious related matters. So I wouldn't say much. I believe Sister will, in a way, introduce herself a little bit, and you would hear more from Sister. And also we have Maze Barrister Ikenman Joke in the house. And so it's going to be a very fun-filled episode that we're having this evening. So sit down, relax, and enjoy this session. So I want to say welcome, Sister, once
Thank
again.
you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we want to bring this issue of baby factory because it has become, a general subject every time, even within the Nigerian system, in other places, even though it's in the Nigerian or African setting that they call it baby factory. But how do you address this subject?
So I think is a kind of topic that is not well known in our side. We call it baby factory because we don't know the exact name. I think we should call it something like surrogacy.
Okay.
Okay. And it's a situation whereby a woman carries and gives birth for another individual or a couple. So what does that imply? That many a time, people who go into surrogacy are people who have fertility issues. Okay. And in this part of the world, some of the women that go into it might be those of same-sex couples, like homosexuals, lesbians. They actually make use of this surrogacy. And maybe some individuals that just want to have a child, they can actually subscribe to it. So the idea of carrying a baby for another person or for a couple that has fertility issue could be seen in two ways.
Okay.
It could be seen from a biological prospect, whereby a woman who has difficulty in carrying a pregnancy can decide to subscribe to surrogacy. So they go through it through in vitro insemination, whereby the garment of the husband is being used or the partner is being used. In this particular case, the surrogate, the woman, is the mother of the child. Right. Then we have the gestational surrogacy, whereby the person involved is not biologically connected to the couple. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's not biologically connected to the couple. And the woman might be a member of the family, might be an unknown person who subscribes to it. And what happens when such a person subscribes into helping a couple or an individual? Two things are involved. Either the couple is going to, see her through the pregnancy, right? By sustaining all the expenses and everything. Or it should be through a commercial way, which we call the baby factory.
Okay, I was gonna come to that. Yeah.
Which brings us to exploitation, because this is what happens. Mazi, you should know better than me on this one. Which has to do with the third world countries. It is more of exploitation than helping or trying to assist people who are in difficulty. In our country, it happens there. In Nigeria, for Nigerians, this baby factory stuff is a business where young ladies subscribing to, in the name of surrogacy, children and young women are being exploited because of one's selfish desires or reasons. But in some countries, in the UK, for example, I don't think the legal aspect is the same.
Yes, sister, you are right. In the UK, commercial surrogacy is illegal. So you cannot enter into a contract with someone for the purpose of paying that person to carry your child. It's not allowed in the UK.
So it's more of a compassionate activity.
Exactly. Even if you don't have any compassion for it, but at the end of the day, it is still legal for that person to do it for you. It is still legal for you to have an agreement for the person to carry your child. Except that you can't enforce that agreement if any dispute arises from it. So you can, of course, you are allowed to pay someone to normally run through the expenses of pregnancy during, the process of carrying the child. However, as long as it is limited to that extent, or the court allows extra expenditure. But outside that, you cannot enforce it. That's the position of the law in the UK. But I wanted to make an observation, ask sister this. I know that maybe the morality side of it might be why the UK does not want to make commercial surrogacy legal. Because I know that whenever things are so common that anyone who wants it can have it, especially a child, it doesn't really look proper. And I am one of those who want people to have babies, but I don't believe everybody has a right to a child. Personally, if you don't want to have stretch marks, you shouldn't get a child through surrogacy.
Exactly.
You understand? People like Paris Hilton, people like Kim Kardashian, there are instances of, let's not even forget those who had it through maybe gay couples, but women who are socialists, who are social media,
And,
exactly.
yeah.
So they don't want to have stretch marks, and they go in to have babies.
Barrister, are you saying that just for the some individuals, just for the sake of, oh, I don't want to have stretch mark, then I don't want to have baby,
Definitely.
and somebody else they will want somebody else to have the stretch mark and have a baby
Because they can afford it.
That's why you are being paid.
Exactly. They can afford it. That's the reason they will pay someone to carry those babies. In fact, there are instances of people in India, for instance, who have been surrogate 10 times, an individual. Surrogate 10 times. And the morality aspect of it is what I feel uncomfortable, very, very uncomfortable.
It's morally unacceptable. In 1987, there was this document of the Roman Catholic Church, Dona Vitae, that says that surrogacy is morally unacceptable because it kind of introduces a third party in the union of the husband and wife. It destroyed the unitive nature of marriage, and it destroyed the reality of procreation. Then a child is a gift. It's a gift from God. It's not like something I can go to the market and I buy it where I buy vegetable.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So if a child is a gift from God, and I know I can't, due to medical reason, I have other options like adoption. I can subscribe to adoption.
I was coming to this the area of the where the thin line exists between surrogacy and adoptions. But when you are saying on the moral ground that the church, because you made mention of it, let's
Sure.
address that aspect a little bit. If the church, because even in the Bible, in the church, there are women that are barren. Yeah, they could not conceive, and if the church says it's morally wrong for somebody who could not conceive but desires to have a child.
The church is
yeah.
not saying, sorry, I'm interrupting you. The church is not saying that it is morally wrong for a woman to have a baby. The church is saying that it is wrong for the woman or for whoever it is to make a human being and a product of his or her exploitation. That is the moral point of the church. So if you are barren, the church understands the situation of a barren woman. And the church understands that we have a lot of children. You might not know, but in many convents that have orphanages, we have a lot of children awaiting adoption. We can give life to those children. We can give them hope. We can support them and make them good citizens.
But would you force somebody to adopt when the person, maybe the person have visited an orphanage and maybe not being discriminatory, but people have choice of because you are now presenting options for them. When it's an offspring, they don't have choice. Is whatever comes out that they will take it. But when you are presenting them that option, don't you think people will feel a bit compelled?
There's
by
something
that?
we call the social doctrine of the church. In the social doctrine of the church, what does that mean? The church will advise you on what to do, and it is left for you with your freedom to decide. So the duty of the church is to advise you on what is morally right for you to do. And the church
you don't have to do it, do you?
It's left for you to make that decision.
And the church will not ostracize you if you do that.
I don't know presently in Nigeria, because I know that if we can reflect on the reality of our people, in the past 6-7 years now, we've been having a lot of twins, quadruples, triples. In most cases, those are products of IVF, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So I don't think the church has ever kind of fought those women directly. But the position of the church is clear. As a Catholic, you have no right to support anything that that involves the exploitation of human being. and brings down the dignity of the human existence.
So, are you trying to say that maybe the church does not support the use of IVF?
The church is against IVF. The teaching of the church is against it because it makes it's the main issue of manipulating the reproductive system makes destroys the dignity of man, because in reality the conception is done on a vitro. It's an in vitro insemination.
Sister, this position of the church is making me a bit uncomfortable. Because if you're saying manipulation or management of the reproductive system, the reproductive system will have to be managed.
So
if not, people will be giving birth every day.
So I know the church is an autocratic institution, first and foremost, so they wouldn't mind to extend their hands into that social history.
Because where I was coming to here is, if the church is against this, and like we made mention of people having triplet, quadruplet, and all that, and if the church is against it, and some of the people that have the children attend those churches, is it that the church is just pretending not to be aware of it?
I say that the church teaches on moral basis.
They don't compel
against it. And the women who has had this, gone through this process and had children, they've always come to the church to do Thanksgiving. I don't believe I've seen any video where any of them has been chased out of the church.
I hope if any child that was conceived through IVF or surrogacy, maybe a male child decides to become a reverend father tomorrow, the church will not throw him away.
That's a good one. Maybe if they had asked, who is your mother? Who is your father?
The church doesn't go into your private life, like how your parents conceived you. Like a child is a gift, anyways, but it is the duty of the church to remind us of the moral values.
Good.